They're great questions. I don't know if people even know the story, but they might. I can't say, but yes to everything. Okay, so those scenes weren't originally in the movie Continência, Amor. I think that was the last time that him and I were together in person. Eu te amo infinito. Hey guys, I'm Sofia Carson, and you are watching Inscreva-se. I don't know if I'll ever find the word to describe how I feel. It's been unreal. You know, I poured everything I had into this movie for 5 years of my life, and I never imagined that the world would fall in love with it like they did. And I remember I was in Italy the day that it came out. I was at a performance, and the next morning I was walking around with my mom and my sister, and I would walk into a store, and everyone at the store had seen Purple Hearts, and it had been out for maybe 12 hours. And I was like, oh wow, this is really cool. And then the next day, or that day, I just kept seeing all the countries, number one, number one, number one, number one in every country in the world. And then I got a call on Monday. We had a producer call with our partner at Netflix, and he essentially said that the numbers that they're seeing are like nothing that they had anticipated or seen in a very long time. And then when we heard the news that it had entered, you know, the top 10 most watched films in the history of Netflix and surpassed some of the biggest films in the world, it's something like impossible to wrap your head around, and I'm just so deeply grateful. Only one was left out, and I wouldn't say left out, it was a version of Come Back Home that was written before the one that made it to the movie, and the one that we wrote for the movie was better. It was the winner in our eyes, and I loved writing the soundtrack. It was my most vulnerable and my most raw, and I had to dive into Cassie's heart to really bring her music to life and her story to life, and it's been so beautiful to see everyone fall in love with it. And did you ask me which of my favorite ones? I think I didn't know. How about you? Oh, Hate the Way.
Hate the Way. Hate the Way, yes.
But which version? The rock and roll or the piano?
The rock and roll one.
Rock and roll. It's funny, that was the first song that we wrote. And when we wrote that song, it's like we knew we found Cassie. I loved writing that song. Great question. Which song would be Cassie's favorite? I think it might be Stay, because it's like really raw and emotional, and I feel like that's Cassie. My favorites, I love the ballads, I love the emotional ones. So I love Como Quando, I love Stay, I love Still Love You. So I think those are my babies. They're great questions. I do think I still want to perform these songs live. I have had some really cool performances, but I would love to. And also to perform the songs from Purple Hearts, I would love to put something together like that. The songs on the set list, okay. The set that I've been kind of doing when I have performed has been Loud, it's been Sugar, it's been Como Cuando y Donde, and it's Only Love, Nobody Dies. But I think I would do Loud, I would do Como Cuando. I love doing Sugar live. I would love to sing Stay live and Still Love You. Yeah. No, I wasn't. It felt right, because my music is a reflection of who I am, and I'm bicultural. I was raised singing and writing songs in both English and Spanish, so it felt right to release a song in Spanish, and I was so happy to see how well received it was. You know, I really went based off of our chemistry read together. Cinderella hadn't come out yet. It came out while we were shooting. And so I had the opportunity to meet a lot of actors for the role of Luke. And what I was looking for was something I needed to feel like fire when both of us were on screen, because that was the beauty of these two people. It was these two people who could not be more different, two worlds apart, and yet they hated the way that they loved each other so deeply. That was the inspiration for the song. It's like they couldn't stand how deeply they wanted the other person. And so the chemistry had to be like fire. And Nick and I met through Zoom, and through Zoom you could feel the chemistry. So I knew right away that something about our interaction and like our banter and our back and forth felt really natural. And he also, worked really hard to get the part, which was also important because I needed a hardworking partner to be able to do this movie. And we met in person the day before we started shooting. We met at my director's house. We had like a dinner, all of us, before we started shooting our scenes. And then we had to literally dive right into each other's arms, essentially, because we got married the next day. We had our big finale scene the second day. He got shipped off to war the third day, the motel scene at the end of the week. So it was, nonstop, but it was a really beautiful journey together. So that actually happened while we were shooting. I don't know if people even know this story, but they might. We were shooting in San Diego. We were shooting a scene when we walk into the courthouse to get married, and there was like a pirate ship. And I don't know how Nick came up with the sicholas. And we had this whole idea that we were going to be pirates and run away on the sicholas. And it was this silly thing that became, a running joke. And it just sounded so funny, sicholas. So that was just kind of where it came from. I think it's sweet. I think I'm used to it at this point because I understand why people fall in love with this love story and they want it to be real. So I get it. I totally get it. It's really sweet. It's been a long time. Actually, I think the last time I saw him in person was when we shot, the scenes that take place after the movie ends when we're on the beach. So those scenes weren't originally in the movie. We shot those in April, after we finished shooting. We hadn't shot for a couple of months, and we shot for a day in Malibu. And I think that was the last time that him and I were together in person, because then I was working on something else and he was working on something else. And we haven't seen each other in person since, I don't think.
I'm always afraid of sequels because sometimes you expect a lot but get frustrated because you don't have much to tell in a second movie.
We feel the same. We always had it very clear when we shot this movie. We didn't really have a sequel in mind because the movie was based on a book, and the book ends where a movie ends. And the love story and the story is so special. So it's like scary to touch it. But of course, the beautiful thing is that fans have been demanding a sequel, and we are having those conversations. I'm intrigued to hear, where the story could go. But like you say, what we did was so special. And if we are to make another one, it has to be just as special. I would tell them that I hope they have the most beautiful time. Being a part of Descendentes was truly a fairy tale for us. And I just hope they have a really incredible time bringing this to life. I know that, the fans were so passionate about Descendentes, so it'll be cool to see where they take it. No, we didn't get to see each other. I did see Sabrina, which was really nice, but I didn't get to see Doug, sadly. I'm so proud, and I just hope that she's happy and fulfilled, and I think she is, and I'm just really proud of her. I can't say, but yes to everything. I love you with all my heart. Eu te amo infinito. I'm so deeply grateful for all the love that you have given me, and I cannot wait to see you in person and to hug you and to give you so much love back. Eu te amo infinito. Beijos, Brazil.